Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to build these 15mm scale Cromwell tanks from Plastic Soldier Company. In this box there are 5 sprues. They're all very nicely cast. Options include hedge cutters, Normandy cowls for the exhaust, and a 95mm howitzer for close support. If you've seen any of my modelling videos before, you won't be surprised to learn that I like to magnetise my turrets as a first step. These kits need a little bit of work for that to happen. The pin that holds the turret in place is quite tight and much too long. So I cut it down and then I file it so it will spin freely and not protrude beyond the plastic and interfere with a magnet. Something I've not encountered with Plastic Soldier Company tanks before is the hole in the hull is wide enough for the magnets I usually use to pass right through, so I will have to use much wider magnets. It's not a problem for me, I've got a variety of magnets on hand, but it might be an issue for others. As usual, make sure your magnet polarities are correct and then glue them down. Then proceed with the rest of the build. This kit is really quite simple to build, and the parts barely needed any cleanup at all. In fact, all I really had to do was tidy up where I snipped them off the sprue. I quite liked how the lower and upper hull pieces kind of link together. It keeps everything straight. I also like that the hull consists of a few different pieces. I think they may have made the kit this way to better allow more detail to be included. It may take a little bit longer to put together, but I think it's worth it. It seems like they've designed it in such a way that the gaps between the parts are in locations where there would be a gap or a line on the real thing, which is also quite nice. I'm not showing it in the video, but I test fit all the pieces before gluing. Everything fit perfectly anyway, but it's a good habit to be in. It's a pain to try and adjust pieces with glue all over them. The tracks in this kit are pretty nice, and they're one piece. The multi-piece tracks in some Plastic Soldier Company kits are kind of annoying. These tracks only have a small mould line, that's easy to clean, and for the most part won't be visible anyway. One problem I did have, and this is a good example of why you should check that pieces fit before gluing, is that the little knobs that are supposed to fit into the recesses on the hull to ensure correct positioning of the tracks was actually causing a poor fit, resulting in a huge gap. My solution was to simply cut down the long knobs, and then glue the tracks on. They fit perfectly well after this. This kit allows for a bit of variety, so I built my tanks a few different ways. It's perfectly fine to leave these side skirt things off. Not all Cromwells had the Cullen hedge cutters, so some of mine went without, and the Normandy cowling didn't even appear until after the landings, so they're not essential at all. The turret is unusual compared to many of the Plastic Soldier Company kits I've built in the past in that it comprises of quite a few pieces. It works well for a turret with so many flat surfaces, and it wasn't too much work to put together, so it's not a bad thing. When you're installing the cannon, be sure that you have it the correct way. The machine gun goes to the left, and the little cutout bit goes to the bottom. You can build the turret with the commander's hatch open, and a commander figure is included. It would be easy enough to cut the other hatch into and model that open as well, but I personally prefer to build my tanks buttoned down, mostly because I don't really like painting figures that small. There we have it, a Cromwell tank ready for battle, in a short amount of time. As you can see, I've built my Cromwells in a variety of ways. Not all of them have the hedge cutters or the Normandy cowl. This sort of thing can allow you to quickly tell them apart on the table. It would be nice if the kit included some stowage like boxes, rolls of camo netting or jerry cans just to add a bit of variety, but that sort of stuff is easily added later anyway. Overall, I really like this kit. I think it turned out fantastic. I usually have high expectations when I buy a Plastic Soldier Company kit, and they've never let me down. These models were quick and easy to build, each tank only took about 10 minutes. They're very well detailed and quite inexpensive when you compare them to Battlefront's Cromwells. I've ordered some of those as well, and when I build them I'll do a side-by-side comparison. I've only just decided that I want to build a British Army for Flames of War in addition to my Soviet and German ones, so I've not yet painted a British tank. The paint is on the way and I'm quite excited to begin. I think these tanks will make a great starting point. So, subscribe and stay tuned for more British tanks. I hope this has been helpful or interesting in some way. Thanks for watching. Farewell.